Hello there. It is generally accepted, rightly or wrongly, that ever-increasing UK house prices are a good thing. But they're not rising anymore. Firstly, please subscribe and like this video to give my channel a boost. And I'm always uploading new content, so please do check back daily. People who own their own homes, those with rental portfolios, and politicians who want to point at something and say, this proves the economy is doing well, are all very keen that house prices keep steaming up and ahead of inflation. Some see it as proof that their political policies must be sound, and others are happy because it is personally rewarding on a financial level. Even those saving hard for their first house purchase also see it as a good thing as they approach the point that they can launch themselves onto the ever-rising house price escalator. But right now the invisible enemy has put its thumb in the house price optic. The latest house price index from the Nationwide Building Society shows that prices dipped by 1.7% in May, following a 0.9% rise in April. The price of an average house is now £218,902 compared to £222,915 in April, says the mortgage lender. And this has caused the annual house price index to drop to 1.8% in the year to May, whereas in the year to April it was 3.7%. And this situation may well last several months, according to Robert Gardner, the Nationwide's chief economist, who said, "In the opening months of 2020, before the pandemic struck the UK, the housing market had been steadily gathering momentum. Activity levels and price growth were edging up thanks to continued robust labour market conditions, low borrowing costs, and a more stable political backdrop following the general election. But housing market activity has slowed sharply as a result of the measures implemented to control the spread of the virus. Indeed, data from HMRC showed that residential property transactions were down 53% in April, compared with the same month in 2019. And he also said, behavioural changes and social distancing are likely to impact the flow of housing transactions for some time. Our recent market research survey suggested that 12% of the population had put off moving as a result of the lockdown. Most viewed the current situation as a temporary pause in the market, with would-be buyers now planning to wait 6 months on average before looking to enter the market." And he went on to say that one big effect of the pandemic was how prospective purchasers are changing their views on what is important in their potential new property, with the need for a garden and more internal space moving further up the list of desirable features. But there are reports that the practice of gesundering is gathering pace. Gesundering is where a buyer who has agreed a price with a seller, feeling that the seller is under pressure, reduces their buying price in the hope that the seller will be forced to accept it. The opposite to gesundering is gesumping, where sellers try to impose a higher price on a buyer in a rising market after agreeing the price. Now, if gesundering becomes a generally successful tactic, it is not seen as good for the property market, as it encourages buyers to hold off, further reducing prices. And that makes it difficult for lenders, who may end up funding a high loan-to-value mortgaged property that has dropped in value, so putting their lending at risk. However, reading around the press, you get the feeling that the property experts are saying that this is just a short-term blip. But I'm not so sure. The elephant in the room for me is that a V-shaped recovery from this pandemic looks more and more unlikely. And without it, a fair proportion of those currently furloughed 10 million or so workers will suddenly find their state-subsidised wages replaced with job seekers' allowance. And it won't matter much whether they're renters or owners. The sudden pressure of that on the housing market will be a huge downward one. Evictions and repossession notices will quickly follow. But with the government under intense pressure to put a law into place to continue a ban on all repossessions and evictions almost indefinitely. And that will put the landlords and the banks in the frame. Now, some people might say, good. But what happens when they go bust? The house gets sold out from under the occupant anyway, so the rents and mortgages still need to be paid. So unless we get the nation quickly back to work, I see the government being forced to either accept the situation and let it play out, with councils renting loads of cramped B&B space to house families, while repossessed properties lie empty, socially and politically disastrous. Or pay the rents and mortgages for those who get into financial difficulty, hoping it won't last too long. Or buy the properties and let the occupants remain there rent-free while they rebuild their lives. But how sustainable is all of that? Or invent yet another wholly new, imaginative financial instrument to deal with it. Now, bearing in mind that voters and politicians, and the bankers of course, like to see ever-rising house prices, the policy route taken will in all probability favour that particular vested interest, possibly, or indeed probably, over and above the needs of people and their families. Anyway, if you want to hear more from me, please don't forget to subscribe and also press that little bell, or you won't get any notifications. And if you want to see more of me, buy a mug with my mug on it. So what do you think about this house price blip? Please share and comment, and thank you for watching. Please do like and share this video, and also subscribe to my channel. And when subscribing, please do remember to press on the little bell next to the subscribe button. That way you'll get an alert every single time I put up a new video. And thank you very much for watching.